I already did this video once. We're going to show you how the magic of the light. I've stopped the complete. It's shining brightly because it's at you, and with one finger, depending on how far away from the camera I am, that's your white light. That makes everything look like day. Done. Next part of the story is all about numbers. And we're going to bring up the first part of the numbers, and we're going to talk about 512. We're going to start it out at 512 over here, which is 5 o'clock and 12 minutes. 5 o'clock will be 300 minutes and 12. Boom, we're back to 312. We did this yesterday. 521 becomes 321. This is a dividing number, 104, which is Robert Rabbit communication. When we're sitting at 2 Venus, it becomes 156. And when we're sitting at 4 Mars, it becomes the gateway. 1 times 7, 1 plus 7. This is your gateway, and the deck of cards will confirm it. E and L is actually also E and G because L minus E, and 12 is the representation of the L letter for 50 in Roman numerals. The reverse of L is 15, and it is O, and the meaning of it is 6. 6 is half of 12, and why is that? Because the 15th letter, 1 and 5 is 6, 1 and 2 is 3, 3 and 6. The first part of creation of love. 521 creates EU. It also creates EC. Any craps? It also creates the 5th and the 3rd planet, creating 8. And the representation of the reverse of this is number 11, 5 and 6. 5 and 6 connects the red ball in pool as the 11 ball and the 3 ball. The 11 ball is 1 and 1 is 2, and we're back to Venus again. This is the minutes in a day. This is the way I want to do it. Everybody remember, when you have 300, you have 366, you have 366. This is talking about the leap year. When we divide it by the vibration, the first part of the vibration gives me 160.5. The next one gives me 5 times 2, 5 plus 2. This is Earth. Becomes 167, becomes 88.5. The splittings and the connecting of the skies when the E world comes in, and because you will always have the 5 when you divide them up. We need to find numbers that are the exact numbers, the reality numbers. This one shows me half. It talks about L because L is a representation of half. And this is quarter, and that's Earth. 5 times 2, 5 plus 2 is B and E. Earth equals 10 and 7. 80 is the communication, 9 lives of the cat. I do not know how it all works, but it comes in quarters, pieces, and parts. 80 plus 24 equals to 104, and back to Roger Rabbit again, run at 104. When we go to 251, it's B, or Bo, is 1 times 7, 1 plus 7, equaling to the numeric value that we just went over, 7 and 8, 7, 8, 8, 7. 6, 1, 1, 6. Now what is this? Let's go over here. 0, 7, 1, 8, 1, 8. That means we have 11. That means 88 take 11 will create either 99 or minus it is 77. 0 minus 7 is 7. 1 minus 8 will be 0, 1, 1, 0. In binary, or the 110 stories of the Twin Towers, you get 0, 2, 4. You have a total of 6. So that value will now create 6 over here. Total value. When we add it, it becomes 0996, 0990. Now in reality, this will become 6116 or 77. This will become 66, 6 and 9, 15 equals 6, 6 and 9, 15 equals 6, telling us that it is the separation of the gateway. Remember, in gematria, we go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and then we go to 6 again. When we bring it over here, okay, the zeros will put all 6s in their place. 6 and 7 equals to 13. 1 and 3 is 4. 8 and 1 is 9. Why did I do this? Because minus it, okay, it becomes the 7s on this side. Now I'm going to add it. It will become 13. 1 and 3 is 4. Become 13 or 139. That's the 10, 10 sky. 10 times 10 creates your 100, and that's the area you are in. 1771. 6 minus 7 is 1. 8 minus and 1771, and this is your 251, 171 minutes. 215 minutes, right? 2 hours and 15 minutes is 135, and says ace. At the same time, it's how do we get to this ace? 27 times 5 is what brings us to this number, to the EU, and that's win a big red sun. In 152, it becomes 112, it becomes 56, 28, 14, and 7. This becomes your gram. This becomes your cycle in the moon. This is your IT system and your DNA connected to the gateway. Our makeup connected to the gateway. This becomes 13 altered current or AI. This is 85 minutes, and this says silver matrix. And the way to get there is 5 by 17 equals to this number. 3 times 17 equals 51 to Mars. 3. This is 5, 85 the matrix. 3 and 5, any crap, the same number we just used over here. And that would be 1 and 1 and 1 and 2. The reverse of that is 55 and 66, and they bar normally in the casinos 66, although they get a 30 to 1 roll payout, as well as 11. 1 and 1 is 2, 6 and 6 is 12, 1 and 2 is 3, and those are the numbers for altered current inside this. Now we're going to flip over and we're going to come down to this one over here, which is the vibration. And inside the vibration, look at this. When I multiply these numbers to create the vibration, 2, 3, 4, what the vibration is, by 2, 3, and 4, those are my numbers. I can be using 1, 4, and 7. 1 will do absolutely nothing. 4 is already over here. 4 and 3 is my 7. I do not need to use 1, 4, or 7 because all the numbers are made up over here. We all know that the 3 area, in order to create it, it'll be 1, 4, 1, then it'll be a blank 0, and then it'll say 1, 4, 1 again. When you take these 3 together, 141 and 141, 141 plus 141 divided by 3, it equals to 94. Half of that is 47, and that is for the IT system of time. The IT system of time. Let me see if I have that written down here, or the IT system of time. I'm looking all around and it's on my other book. The IT system of time. 1 times 4, 1 plus 4 equals 4 and 5, right? 1 and 4 creates DNA. Equals 4 and 4 times 5 is 20. 4 plus 5 is 9, 209. You ever see that train in Christaberg? 209 on time. Total, 2 and 9 is 11. Me, time. Me is the 13 and the 5, St. Ace. 13 and 5 is the orange ball created by the red ball, which is the, right, which is the 3 ball and the 11 ball inside a pool. 13 and 5 is the orange ball. In order to create orange, you need 1 and 9, A and I, and 3 and 11. Looking to win a big red sunspot, you need the BC creation. This becomes 9, 11, or 9 and 2. 9, 1 and 1 is 2, which will create 18 and 11. 99 is Jupiter when multiplied. Now we're going to go back onto the numeric values for 432. We come on to the numeric values of 432. When we divide it by the 3, it's 141. This will create your IT system in the sun. If this was in time, it would create 240 minutes and a reflection of a 1 period of the Mayan cycle and 23 BC creation, or 263 minutes. And I'm not going to get into that because I have to think. Okay, and basically I have to make up what I see, the reality, but I do know everything passes through Jupiter. When I divide it, right, 4, right, oh, this shouldn't have been 8, it should have been 2 and 8. The 2 goes with the 8, the 3 goes with the 7, the 4 goes with the 6, and I didn't do the 6 because it's going to be here, half of this. Half of this, okay, what I'm trying to do is get it to the 10-10 level, so I have to show you both halves. Okay, so just give me a minute. Okay, I did it. Now, when we get back to this number over here, 2 times 211 becomes this. 3 times this becomes this. And then when it comes to the half-life, it becomes this. This will end up to be 6. It'll be 7, 6, 5 equals to 18. It'll be 7 and 6, 13. 1 and 3 is 4, 4.5. D and E, E and F. On the cross, arms on the cross, holding the chest. 7 times 6 is 42. 7 plus 6 equals 13. The total is 55. 42 minus 13 is 29, and that is your birth in the 20 world. 1020, location. When you divide it, okay, multiplied by 3, multiplied by 7, divided by 7, divided by 3, it'll equal to 60, which is the time, right? And you know what's funny about this vibration is it fits right into the numeric values of the Mayan Sanskrit or key. You notice it's 285, which are in a row, and 714, which are in a row. These numbers will continuously to show up somewhere. At the same time, 6 times 7 times 8, 336, 12 moons happen on 336. Plus the addition of 6, 7, and 8, 21 equals 357, representing the word gun, electric company inside the moon, 1 and 2 coming together. There is no other like 1 and 2, and when 1 and 2 are there to create 3, 11 shows up. And when 11 shows up and 3 shows up, we have the red balls in pool, you have 14 and you have 8. You have 5 and 8, and you have the matrix. The second, when you minus this, becomes 3, 15, and 21. This says ace, ace gun matrix, runner of these numbers. I'm not going to go through all the numbers with you, but that is the basic of what it does. I'm going to get on to one other piece. I don't know if I can explain this piece. It has to do with doubling up on 12. Going all the way up to 84, okay, and we're going to stop. 1 area, 2 areas, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 areas. We need 14 dice cubes to reach this. 14 dice cubes of 6 sides to equal this number. 84 and 12 equals to your 96. 72 and 24 equals to your 96. 60 and 36 equals to your 96. And this is good for Pluto and the word sun. And now we find all the in-between numbers. Here's your gateway. Here is your split with your gateway and gematria. Here is the sun to begin with. And in between here is your heaven. Here is your creation. Here's the 9 lives of the cat communication, which shows up over here again. So we play between here and here. INR into the third world and creation. Win a big red sun to the masses of Christ creation. Between 24 and 36. That's what shows up. I need to understand the reflection of this equals to, oh my God, the 60 minutes on the clock. Over here, it'll be 132, the total number. At the same time, it'll say 7 and 6, 13, 1 and 3 is 4, it'll be 42. And then the 0 equals 6, it'll then be 48. Boom, we all have the same numbers. Because numbers will always come to be perfect. This will equal 6. 7 and 8, 15, 1 and 5 is 6, 6 and 6, 12, 1 and 2 is 3, 5 and 4 is 9, 4 and 2 is 6, 3 is 3, and all we have is 3, 6, 9, 3, 6, 9, 3, 6, 9, 3. That's all you have. That's all the numbers do. And I can change this all around if I use the numeric placements of a low shoe. I want to bring up one more thing. That when I showed you 423 divided by 7 equaling to 4260, 428571. The funny thing about that is when I take 432, which is not 423, it's 432, and I take 7 and I divide it again, I get 6174285. This one is absolutely perfect. 61, the moons of Saturn. 17, the gateway to Jesus, the cat, the cycle of the moon, and the spirit matrix, silver spirit matrix, inside of AC/DC. Now I can go to the high-low counts. I can do a lot more things to this, but I'm not because I need the questions. I don't know what I'm doing. All I'm doing is showing you the numbers. Is there anything else in here? I'm going to let it go on at this. Most people won't make it this far into the video, but if we had the cross upside down in the ground like a pogo stick, right? Okay, this would be in the ground. You could not pull it out because the straight stick we can pull out of the ground, but this is stopped. Here's a level, right? If the 7th point was up here and the cross was upside down, this cross would meet at 55, right over here. 5 on this side, 5 on that side. 7 is the center. Now, since it meets at 55, let's revert the cross now and put the cross all the way down this way. So it meets at 55 over here. So the cross would have to be buried into the ground and have to come down to level number 2. So it would go 2, 3, 4. Then you'd have the cross, okay, at 5, and then it would go up through in the middle of 6 and through 7. And 1 would be in the ground, completely in the ground. But you wouldn't start until on top of the ground. So that would be 2. You see it's half and half. Once you stand on the ground, you're not in the grounds, but it's part of, I don't even know how to explain that. Anyways, let's jump on to the last piece. Inside the reverse of the alphabet, we have B, okay, which is the reverse of Y, 25th letter, second letter. When we take the B letter and the Y, we end up with B minus Y 23. We take B in the B family, and the 11th letter is K in the B family, and the 20th letter is T. In the B family, we go 2B plus 11K equals to 13M minus equals 9I, 9 and 4. Do you remember that 9 and 4 we had in the last one? I'm going to have to go back and